Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Trinati, also known as Mother in the Wild. I'm an educator for early childhood and elementary school age children, their families, and other educators. And I'm thrilled to be able to offer you some tools on how teachers and parents can find tranquility amidst the very real chaos and complexities that we experience while working with young people. I am here to help you cultivate a sustainable feeling of joy during especially challenging times. My background is in empathy and environmental education, as well as yoga, breath work, and meditation. My wish for you is that any or all of these techniques can serve and stay with you as you continue on this path of incredibly important and inspired work. So, welcome to our first meeting, the power of visualization, an attitude of gratitude, and the ego eradicator. Are you ready? Get cozy. If you're not already feeling grounded, please take a miniature moment to either come to a comfortable seated position, either cross-legged, perhaps perched up on a rolled up blanket or cushion. Maybe your back is supported against a wall, or you could find yourself sitting in a chair or on a couch. If you're as busy as I am, you may be multitasking while standing right now. If this is sounding like you, please just briefly join me in planting your feet on the ground. Ground down through the feet or the base of your spine if you are seated. Feel your shoulders relaxing away from your ears as the top of your head reaches toward the sky. Good. And this is where we will invite 1 or 2, maybe even 3 intentional, conscious, full deep breaths into your body. Gift yourself with this moment. Beautiful. Learning various breathing techniques has supported me in my daily life, as well as in the long game of teaching and parenting like nothing else I've tried. But before I begin sharing these amazing tools with you, I want to offer you a foundation from which to begin this growth. This video will introduce, or perhaps just remind or reinforce, a simple daily ritual that promises to shift your emotional, mental, cognitive, and cellular state, and it all begins with your imagination. Let's talk about gratitude. Did you know that grateful people have greater neural sensitivity in their prefrontal cortex? Gratitude can actually change your brain. Gratitude practices also improve mental resilience, meaning we can face and comprehend and respond rather than react to the many challenges life presents. Not only that, but it increases our positive emotions, and who doesn't want to experience more joy? When simply considering what we're grateful for, taking a few moments just to contemplate all that seems good about life, our brain begins to release dopamine and serotonin, the happy hormones, just because we've visualized the things that bring us a feeling of gratitude. This practice alone moves our attention away, even if just momentarily, from toxic or negative thought patterns, which we all know play a significant role in keeping us in states of anxiousness, stress, and being depressed. So, my simple invitation to you is to either record the list of what you're grateful for onto a notepad, into your phone's voice memos, or simply store them in your brain on a daily basis. It could take less than 1 minute to complete. I encourage you to find a time of day when you can stay consistent in creating this little list. Perhaps it's while you take your second sip of coffee or tea, or while you're on your way to work. It could even be at the end of the night while you're slipping off to sleep. Decide on a non-negotiable time with yourself within each day where you will commit to picturing the things in your life that cause you to feel grateful. this simple visualization practice can be an easy gateway into meditation. When we get really good at practicing this, we start to be able to sustain the state of gratitude and presence. A dedicated practice of meditation is simply that, a practice of just noticing, catching when our mind begins to hang out in the past or project into the future. When we put the time into practicing this, usually with our eyes closed, we begin to be able to do this more readily with our eyes open. And that's sort of the goal. That's when we can consciously self-regulate our emotional responses moment by moment. And that's when we are no longer victims, unconsciously reacting to the circumstances in our environment. For most of us, our responses to our environment and even our thoughts strips the body of vital energy by producing stress hormones. So we want to cultivate skills that help us remain aware of our emotions and to consciously create a way in which our responses will strengthen our contentment. So instead of trying to calm yourself down in anticipation of a stressful experience, practice imagining the experience going amazingly well. Positive imagery helps your brain reinterpret anxiety as excitement, which is a much easier and funner way to work with that energy. We begin to form new patterns in our brain when we fire and wire these neural pathways by simply creating different imagery, different responsive options. One way that I love to set myself up for a big or important day, or any day really, is to practice Ego Eradicator. It uses a breath that takes some practice, but it's easy to begin. So please watch this next clip of a brief demonstration of the breath of fire as well as the Ego Eradicator. And afterward, you'll have the option to practice it with me for 1 full minute together. Enjoy. This video is to help prepare you for the breath of fire. The breath of fire is a bellows breath. It's where we pulse the belly and stoke the fires within at our navel point. So if you can imagine a bellow stoking a fire, it is a very even rhythm like this. And the action, the important action, is on the exhale, on the pushing out of the air to stoke the fires. So, but just as equally as important is the inhale, for without that we wouldn't be able to do the exhale. So though the focus is on the exhale, make sure that your inhale is happening passively but equally in rhythm. So let's go ahead and practice this. We'll start by opening up the mouth, sticking out the tongue, and panting like a hot dog. Bring the hands to the belly and feel the pulsing of your belly. As you pant, you're going to feel your belly is drawing in and up as you release the air out of your lungs. No need to overthink this. The action will happen naturally, especially if you just let it be. But it does take practice. So allow yourself the time and space to really get the rhythm of this breath. Go ahead and you can hold your belly if you'd like, but this time I'd like you to close the mouth, seal off the lips. The breath of fire is usually done through a closed mouth and through the nose. So take a deep inhale through the nose and begin pulsing the belly. Good. Now, your breath of fire may sound faster or slower in pace than mine. That's perfect. Just go at your own rhythm. The breath of fire is an upward movement. We're drawing the energy up from the root, up to the higher energy centers of the body. And menstruation and pregnancy is really a downward flow of energy. So during those times, please, please, please modify, take long, deep breaths, and just listen to your body. We will be pairing the breath of fire with the Ego Eradicator. This is a Kriya. A Kriya is complete action in Kundalini Yoga. And all we're going to do for it is extend the arms up beside the ears, out at about 60 degrees, curl the fingertips in toward the pads of the hands, and keep the thumbs outstretched toward one another. The inner gaze draws toward the center of the brain. And here we are, just pulsing the belly with breath of fire or long, deep breath. So we'll practice it here for about 10 seconds. Arms are outstretched, elbows are straight, and thumbs are pointing toward one another. Take a deep inhale through the nose and begin breath of fire. Good. Welcome back. Now we'll have a chance to practice the breath of fire and the ego eradicator together here. I like to do the ego eradicator for 3 minutes at the beginning of each day. I'll set a little timer and set myself up comfortably, and then begin with the breath of fire or a long deep breath if I'm menstruating or pregnant. But for the purpose of today's practice, let's do it for 1 minute. I've set up a timer here. I'm comfortably seated. You can be standing as well to do this. Just make sure that you're rooted down into the earth. And extend the arms overhead, curling the fingertips in toward the pads of the hands as the thumbs stretch out toward one another. You are invited to close down the eyes, bringing your inner gaze to the brow point between the eyebrows and back a bit toward the center of the brain. And here we will begin for 1 minute. Take a deep inhale. Pause the breath at the top. Connect the thumbs overhead. Don't look, just you. As you hold the breath in, direct the energy in from the root up toward the center of the head, the center of the brain. And exhale, release. Sweep the palms facing down beside the body. And then if you'd like to, please turn the palms to face up. This is a beautiful, receptive pose, and just try to sit absolutely still for a moment here. Allowing the breath to return to its natural pace and just taking a few seconds to notice any subtle shifts that may have happened within the energetic body. Perhaps your physical body feels a little bit different. Just noticing. The ego eradicator is known to help us set the tone for the day or before an important meeting or conversation. Again, it's preparing us to greet moments that may be invoking some anxiety as an exciting time, helping us prepare from a grounded state of awareness, gratitude, and presence. I hope these tools have offered you some inspiration today, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you liked this video, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, or share this with friends. Until next time.